All right.
Here we go. Very cool. Grateful to have everybody on tonight. We've got the Karchner team. We've also got the Crosby team. We've got the Bliss K team. And anybody else who's on, we're just grateful to have you. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us. Awesome. All right. So some of you didn't get a chance to go to convention, and we're just glad you're here. And we're excited to have you with us next year. The second Optavia convention is going to be even more amazing.
In St. Louis.
In St. Louis. So that should be another easy flight for many of you because it's more of a direct hub. So Tony, tell me if this sounds okay with you guys. I thought I would just share a couple things right at the top about Medifast and New York Stock Exchange. And then let's go around the room and have everybody kind of give popcorn takeaways that went. And all the rest of us, we're just happy to hear how everybody felt at convention and all the things that you learned. It was amazing. Does that sound okay with everybody?
Sounds good.
Okay, awesome. There's a couple things that I was reading an article, May 1st, 2017, and it was about Forbes 100 most trustworthy companies in America. This is the second time that Medifast has made it onto that list, which says a lot about our parent company. And it also says in there that there's 12,500 health coaches. Obviously, not all of those were at the convention, but that list is growing all the time. We have more and more people coming on to help more and more people. This is what Dan Chard said. Dan Chard is the new president of Medifast and is an amazing guy. He's got a great spirit, and he lost about 30 pounds doing the Optavia program. And here's what he said: "We are proud to be included in this prestigious list for the second consecutive year." That's the one I told you about. "This is an incredible accomplishment for our finance team, directed by our Chief Financial Officer, Tim Robinson, and our legal team, led by our Executive Vice President, Jason Groves, who worked tirelessly to maintain the highest standards in financial management and corporate ethics." So Medifast has really grown a lot. They've been trusted for over 37 years. Over 1 million people's lives have been touched in the last 6 years. And obviously, we all know that over 20,000 doctors have utilized the Medifast program since 1980. Optavia Medifast is going to have a brand new office that's going to be in Baltimore. And that's going to be good in lots of ways. The thing I noticed right off at the convention is that Dan Chard, Medifast, and Dr. A and Dan Bell are working a lot more closely together. In the past, there was always sort of a division where the Medifast president would come out on stage, but it wasn't as much of a synergistic working relationship like this has been, and I've been very impressed. Dan and Dr. A were going back and forth all the time, and you can just see that they really enjoy working together. So that was a huge thing as well. Let me just share a couple things that I learned at convention, and then let's go around the room and have everybody share their popcorn takeaways. Jeanette's going to share something about DeWitt Jones, who's a prize-winning photographer for the National Geographic, who came and spoke, and I'll have her share a couple things. But Dr. A said this: "Your life is a sum of your habits, how much you weigh, how in shape you are, how well you sleep, your stress level, and how happy you are." It's amazing that all those things work together. The other thing, a couple other things. Dr. Mark Nelson said, "You are not just a drop in the ocean is within you." That's really, really true if you think about it. We're a part of something bigger, but that's all a part of what we are inside as well. Dan Valentine and Kevin Tinter said one thing each, and then I'll pass the torch to somebody else here. Dan Valentine said, "We're looking for those who are looking, not for those who look like they should be looking." Okay? So it's an important thing to remember that. We're looking for people who are looking. Whether we know that somebody looks like they're unhealthy, doesn't necessarily mean they're looking. We can always try to get the word out to them, but we're looking for those who are looking. And one other thing, Kevin Tinter said this: "How many times have we got a coach on our team? If you haven't already, it probably happened to you at some point. They just want to coach one person, okay? This is how Kevin Tinter handles this. Kevin and Becca Tinter are integrated presidentials along with Dan and Megan Valentine. Here's what Kevin said. Honestly, you're going to spend $200, and really to be a competent coach, you need 5 to 7 clients. So I'll be happy to coach your friend for you. So that was an interesting shift for me, because we've personally had a lot of coaches that just want to coach one person. But really, you know what? You need to have more clients to be competent at what you're teaching people, because we're teaching people how to fish, really. You know, we're not doing the work for them. So anyway, that's some things that I really learned. There were tons more, but let's go ahead and, Jeanette, you want to go ahead next, and then we'll have Bliss and Jan and Tanya. Here we go.
Well, I think one of the things that I just kept hearing over and over and over again, which I was really thrilled about, was this idea of lifelong transformation, one habit at a time. And that just this focus on habits and the education portion. You know, it wasn't about the food. I mean, it was you know, great, new foods out there. That's good. Hey, and we're, you know, it tastes great, and those are all things that are really important. But just remembering that that's really just a tool. That really what we are here for, what we're sponsoring is transformation, one habit at a time. So so that's kind of that was the biggest thing I took away from that, was this whole idea of habits. And of course, being an educator, you know, I like to educate, and so it was, you know, it had a lot of value for me. We had a guest speaker on Thursday night when we got there. His name was DeWitt Jones, and he's a photographer for National Geographic, and also does some speaking on the side as well. And he was it was remarkable. He had quite a story, and lots of stories within his pictures, and it was really just kind of sat there and let kind of all of those ideas and pictures and feelings kind of wash over as he was talking about some really important things. But what he kind of took away was there were 4 things that he always kept in mind as he was, you know, progressing through doing his photography, which has an interesting story in and of itself. I mean, this is a person who sort of had a dream, and without even having the training, just sort of kind of jumped into it. So it was really fascinating. But he came up with 4 things that you know, kind of helps in your success. The first one was to train your technique. And so I know wherever we are, if we're business coaches, if we're coaching just clients, or if we just coaching a few coaches, learning what your technique is, learning how to do that. And I'm real excited about this new Optavia Answers and Optavia Learn that's coming out, that's going to have the ability for you to be able to go in, and wherever kind of you left off, you can kind of pick up what's the next step. So, you know, that's all part of a successful system. The second thing he mentioned was to put yourself in the place of greatest potential. And I thought about that as, you know, trying to apply that to what we do. So where are you going to meet people? Are you meeting people? Are you thinking about putting yourself in a place of most potential? And I was just thinking about Jan. We were talking yesterday about how you're saying that, you know, I'm going to go help this nice old lady move. And in the meantime, I'm going to meet all these people while I'm there. And I was like, that's perfect. You know, putting yourself in that position. The third one was to be open to possibilities. And I think that's more thinking about, you know, because we tend to do things kind of in the same way all the time, but to look to see what other kinds of opportunities are out there, and maybe something that we hadn't even planned on before. And the last one was focus your vision and celebrate on what's right in the world. And I think that's what, you know, I think he attributed his exceptional pictures with that idea of celebrating what was right in the world. And I think our whole business is about celebrating what's right in the world. We're taking people in a place that of unhealthiness or sickness or those kinds of things, and transforming them into better people. And I think, you know, what better thing to celebrate, what better right thing in the world could there be? So anyway, I'll stop with that. I don't want to, there's so much good stuff, but I don't want to take everybody else's. So I will, we'll just move around. What's that, hon?
you guys probably saw my notes that I posted, and it just kept going on and on. So it was great stuff. But thank you, honey. Bliss, share some stuff with us.
So I just want to thank you all for having me. Really appreciate you letting me crash your party tonight, to be able to debrief and hear what all of you all took away from it. So the line that really spoke to me the most was from Dan Bell, and he said, Optavia is not TSFL repackaged. It's a better product. And I cannot say how many times I have used that line since I got home. And I just think it's the perfect segue into explaining about the new, the change that's happening in the company. Also, I'm kind of a nuts and bolts kind of person. And so I was real excited to hear about the new health coach kit that came out. So we got an email about it, but if y'all didn't see it, established health coaches can get it for $99, and you just go to your coach's website and it pops up. It's on the left-hand side in a column, and it disappears actually after you purchase it. So make sure you do that. In the new kit, there's a new health assessment. I don't know if you all use these, but I basically run my business on these, these things, and so they've updated it, and it reads more like a conversation and more like a script, and it's all about them now. It's just a lot of questions about your client, and through asking these questions, we learn about what they're looking for, and if we can help them with Optavia. So I'm excited about the new health assessment, and you can download it from Optavia Answers right now if you want a digital version.
Hey, Bliss, give me just a second here. I do have it here. It's great because it's like, here's number 1, here's number 2, here's number 3, here's number 4. It tells you exactly what to say and then what questions to ask. It's like fabulous.
And it even has the segues in there.
Yep.
It's like a response.
And on the back, it's like, if they say yes, do this. If they say no, do that. I mean, it's just really.
And at the end of the section, say, sounds good. Now, what? I thought it was really good.
Yeah, they've done a nice job putting it together.
They have. And on the back, it's more of a tool where you can list things and, have things. Anyway, I think everyone's really going to like the new health assessment. My feeling on it is that it's simplified. And the whole goal, I'm not sure if I picked this up in a workshop or from a presentation about the package or not, but our goal, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was Becca Tinter that said this, your number one goal when you're signing someone up is to get them into fat burn. So just, put away all the recipes, all the food tips, all the you shouldn't be drinking Diet Cokes, all of that stuff, and just focus on training them on how to get to fat burn. And then once they get into fat burn and they start having success, then you can start adding information in once they get into the routine. So that was a shift for me. I tend to get very excited in the beginning, and I'm like, oh, what are you drinking? How are you doing? And so I'm really going to try and get all that stuff, out of the first calls that I do with them in the initial meeting, and pack on more information as we go through the program. So I will pass to Jan now. I'm like you all, I could go on and on and on, but I'm sure Jan has some wisdom to share.
I do. Some wisdom I learned. So like everyone else, I thought convention was fabulous. I was really impressed with how organized and cohesive all the presentations were, which made it really helpful. And there were a few things that stood out to me. I know they've always said, if you have 5 clients, there should be a coach in there. And I think I took that too literally and felt the pressure of that. But of course, they were talking about the aggregate. Let's say you have 15 or 30 different clients. So your proportion might still be 1 of 5, but they may all come toward the end. You never know where you're going to get them. And I used to always think, well, out of these 5 clients, I don't have a coach candidate. And so that felt very real world to me, and I enjoyed that it's not every 5 clients, it's 1, which of course seems rather obvious as I say it, but I love that. And when this new system, when we start a new coach, instead of, I think the old file folder system had like maybe 6 different compartments or files. this has 3. So all the systems are getting simple. It will be clear to us how to start a coach, and the same thing with the client. Bliss, talked about that, which I thought was really great. And then this was Becca the Tinters. They said you want to look for 3 things in coach candidates: hungry, humble, and smart. So hungry means they have passion for what they're doing, because we can teach a lot of things, but people have to come with their own passion to it. I think we could all agree. Humble, meaning they're coachable, they're ready to learn, they're listening to the way to do things. And then smart, meaning people smart, like they relate well to people, they know how to listen to people and have those people skills that will help them be successful as they empathetically coach other people. I thought those were really good things. And then they mentioned, we all talk, oh man, I worked for, 7 hours today, health coaching. Well, then they talked about real work and fake work. And I think we all know how easy it is to get on Facebook and look at our coaching group, and then like you see a link and then you follow the link, and so the point of that was that when we're working as a coach, to be very focused about that we're doing real work and that we're really doing, things that will move our businesses forward as opposed to busy work. And I think that's really easy for all of us to get off on a tangent. I know it's really easy for me to do. So I thought that was a great concept for me to work on. And then finally, there's so many things, but the last thing that I thought was really good, and this goes for new clients or new coaches, is that we have a bit of a cyclical business. It's not always like that, but there are some large rhythms in our business. I think we all know January through April is a boom time. People have health on their mind. They've got beach vacations coming up, and a lot of times that's an easier time to build our client base and our teams. And then maybe through the summer, we're doing a lot more of planting seeds, and not to be concerned that, we're having that cycle in our business if it shows up, not to think that, the things we're doing on Facebook and meeting people aren't counting, because what we're doing is planting seeds to be harvested. And so they made a big point of, don't be discouraged if you do that and you say, hey, it's not getting me anywhere. You're planting seeds, because you can't harvest what you don't plant. And so, last year in the Wall Street Journal, the beginning of September, there was this big article that the beginning of September is as big for people making resolutions about health and other things, as big as January 1st is. So we're, that's just around the corner here. So I think if we're planting seeds now and we're, letting people know what we're doing and building those relationships in September 1st, which is, 6 weeks away, that's really become a time where a lot of people are making new resolutions. So just to look for that cycle in our business. And if you, you don't always experience that, but if you do, not to become discouraged and to keep on planting those seeds. I thought that was really good. I could say 10 other things, but I'll stop there. But somebody please talk about the 3-3-3, because I love that. I should have led with that. Anyway.
And the Coach Explore call. Someone needs to cover that.
Yeah. Hey, let's move to the Manchester team. Pat, Rita, do you guys want to share some stuff, each of you?
Some of the stuff, like when we were listening to Nancy, she says, get out of your own way. Quit complicating it so bad that you can't teach it. She was saying that's why you want to have the same, and they use the term cookie cutter, but you teach so 1,000 coaches from now, they're still teaching the same thing you taught at the top. So you build your foundation. And, as a coach, I really tend to get away from, that's one of the things I needed to work on. Doing your 3-way calls, sticking with what you're doing, learning to tell your clients up front, this is what's going to happen for the first week, and then you're going to have a celebration call. So they expect you're going to have a celebration call. Not try to explain to them and call them and try to confuse them. And that we want you to talk to our mentor. Then you're behind the 8 ball a little bit.
Yeah.
So some of the other things is on the and there's somebody that said that inspect what you expect. So before you say it, inspect what you're doing before you expect their reaction back. Because if you say it the wrong way, you're going to get the wrong reaction, or they're going to take it the wrong way, and you're not getting the information that you need to help this person.
Yep.
The 333. Let's see. I had notes on that. I know it was 3 calls. We got so many notes, I'm trying to keep up with it.
I know.
I have to say also, part of what I took away from it was, you know, my granny used to say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So they may not be ready now, but just love them through it. And if they don't come back, then they don't come back. But you've offered it to them, and don't take it personal when it doesn't work out for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 3 calls, 3 emails, and somebody help me here. Oh, no.
3 conversations.
3
conversations. There we go.
Every day.
Uh-huh.
Three
Every
new
day.
friends a day.
You know, and you know, some of the things, you know, I like this. It says, don't downgrade your dream to meet reality.
That was my favorite.
Bring your reality up to meet your dream.
Yeah.
So, you know, as we're going through this, the thing I got out of this whole thing that I like the most is the money happens for taking care of people, but the primary is you take care of the people, help the people, and the money just comes with it. But you got to take care of your clients and do the best you can. And you want to mentor them. And yes, as you find coaches, you want to, the people that are good to be coaches, you want to train them, and you want to train them the same way every time, so you'll have a successful company. And then it builds itself. Once you get away from that, and I got to admit, I was a little off track. We got to start to where you do your 3-way calls, you do your text messages, you contact your people, and if you say you're going to do it to your client, you do it. You say you're going to make a call, you make that call. I mean, you may be driving down the road, you may have to hand the phone over. You know, that's what I do. I hand the phone over to Rita and we call them.
That's
You know,
great.
Well, but that's what you got to do because they're expected, you know, because the product, we all know this, the program works. You know, it's worked for everybody. I don't know anybody that it hasn't worked for that does it.
Yeah.
So it was just, if the people on here that didn't go this year, get your butt to St. Louis next year, because I learned more in 3 days than I have, you know, trying to work our way through it. Not that Tanya didn't teach us, but it was amazing the stuff you learned that happens way up here.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, there's a whole shift in stuff that happens when you're actually there. I mean, hearing it secondhand like this is great, but when you're actually there, something just magically goes, I get it now. You know, that's great. Rita, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I just think it was very inspirational, and I'm thankful that Tanya pushed us to go. I can't say enough of how ethical and what do I want to say? Godly. Everybody liked everybody. Was just top notch, and they all believed in God, and that was just super important to us. So,
you know, one thing I noticed, and somebody said it on stage, they've never been in front of so many happy people out of 4,000. Everybody was just positive. They were just, that's what was amazing to me.
and Nikki was.
So anyway,
Yeah, it was amazing. Hey, thanks you guys so much. Chris, did you have any takeaways you want to share with us? Okay, you got to unmute.
You have a big team there, Randy.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Sweet. Hey everyone, my name's Chris Olea. I'm new to the game. I'm under Tanya Crosby, under Randy, obviously. Yeah. Anyways, but my first convention, my first time getting really just immersed in to Optavia. I've been a client for about 2.5, 3 months now, almost. Right, Tanya?
Yeah.
I think so. Something like that. But really, the reason I became a coach was because Tanya was talking to me about convention, and I was like, yeah, I think I really want to go to this. It'll be good to motivate me and get it under my belt and really learn about the company that I want, the product I'm using. And so really the reason I became a coach was because it said get a cheaper convention ticket if you become a coach. And so, so I became a coach, and I was thinking I was getting a discount on the convention ticket, but it was the same price even if I was going as a client. But it was definitely a good move though, because when I was at convention, literally my eyes opened to like a whole new world. I learned about, not like I knew about the products just enough to know that it works because I was losing weight myself, but just the community that I felt at convention and the community that I felt of those people there. One thing that I took away from convention was I heard someone say it there, and it might have been in my group, might have been even Pat or Rita, but what I heard is someone say, what I love about this company is everyone's putting God first, then they're putting family, and then they're putting their business. So it's kind of like a tier of their faith, their family, and then their business, and it all falls together. And so when I was listening to everyone talk about how they grew in success and how they went forward and how they grew their team, it was really inspiring to hear all these people just say where they come, the humble beginnings they come from, if they were humble or not, and then to where they are now. It was very inspiring. And I just, like Pat said it earlier, and I was there when I heard him say it, but I think we were all there because it was in convention, but someone said, I've never been around such happy people. And it was true. There was so much happy people there, and just I felt so good that I knew this is what I needed to do, and this is what I needed to pursue at the time, or this is what I needed to pursue. So here I am, and I'm just trying to soak it all in as much as I can.
That's awesome, Chris. Oh, we're so glad you came too. It was fun to meet a bunch of new people and see some old faces at the same time. Hey, Nikki, how about you? You got some, okay, you got to unmute. There you go.
I unmuted. Okay. So I just think that it was super inspiring, and I agree with what everybody said, but I kind of just want to say again, like how Jan said about the 5-in-1. Okay, so one thing that I thought was really cool, we were in a workshop, and Gina Eccles was talking to us, and she said to, like, as easy as the 5-in-1 plan is to follow, that's how you need to think of your coaching. Like, every 5 clients try and get 1 coach. And it was cool because she's like, it's like a train. So whenever you're on your train and you're chugging along, 5-in-1, 5-in-1. So I just thought, like, that was an eye-opener for me, because I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then I just thought it was super inspiring how everybody kept saying to go out and make a difference. They wanted to make America healthy again, and eventually the world, because to me, that's what I want to see. Like, I want to see people's lives change the way my life changed, and kind of like how Pat said, I learned so much in 3 days, like, and it was just super inspiring to see people who are on the same journey with different stories, but working toward the same goal. It was awesome.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. Anybody else back there, Pat and Rita, that wants to share that came to that we missed?
It was at convention.
Okay, that's all right. Okay, Tanya, share with us what you took away.
I was going to say Danielle.
Okay.
Yeah, come out here close, so.
Oh yeah, come on up, Danielle.
So one of my main takeaways that I really enjoyed was just like Nikki had said, we had workshops we had to go to, and I enjoyed hearing, just actually being there and hearing all the heart-driven, leaders, and how what Optavia's mission really is, and that's to create lifelong transformational health. And I just left kind of like in awe, realizing what everyone there, is there to do, and that's just to create health for people. And hearing all those inspiration and motivational speakers is what was so neat. So that was one of my takeaways. And then I have another takeaway in my last workshop, and that was from Jamil and Jen Jones. And what they said was, seeking obstacles is where growth happens, and obstacles are opportunities. And like they were saying, the more we just keep getting involved and staying connected, the more we're going to grow and our confidence will keep growing up in this. So those are some of my takeaways there, but the main one was all the top leaders we got to hear from and all their motivation. So
That's awesome. Wow, you guys are great. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing. Okay, and last but not least, unless we have forgotten anybody else, Tanya, tell us about your takeaways.
Awesome. Well, you can tell, like, with just people sharing the energy. And when you're there in that room with 4,000 people that want to change the world, it's nothing more than just feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we all have tips that we've learned, but to experience that we all, hearts all comes together as one. There's not one person in there you can't talk to that is more than happy to share their story.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about convention. And I think about these people like Stan and I don't remember the other names. I'm horrible with names, but
Ned Erickson. And
yeah, they became like celebrities. You know, there are ones that have lost 100 pounds, 150 pounds, 200 pounds, and everybody's taking selfies with them and getting their pictures. And, you know, if nothing more, is that not encouraging to be able to be around people that are so happy for you? And nobody's thinking, oh my gosh, you know, I wish you were on my team, or I wish that I knew you. We all know somebody like that. So this is not a competitive thing at all, and you don't feel that at all. But anyway, I get nothing more than just this energy, and I get so, the plane ride is so long to get home. Getting home is so long. Like, I got work to do, man.
So is the car ride, trust me.
We'll talk about that. I took a loop around the world and then came back.
Yeah. That's awesome. You guys, thanks so much for being on the call. Hey, anybody who didn't go, do you have any comments or questions you want to ask Lisa or Kayla or Audrey or Amber? Okay, good. Well, if somebody said something that inspired you and you might have forgotten and didn't write it down, then feel free to reach out on Karchner team or Crosby team or whatever is easiest for you to get to. We're grateful everybody could be here tonight, and let's all be there next year for sure. Definitely, just plan on it. It's going to be July 19th through the 22nd, I believe, in St. Louis. So just kind of mark that on your calendar, and anything else comes up short of a family emergency, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm booked. I'm going to be there.
Jan, go ahead. You're probably saying the same thing.
Say, if you buy your ticket for convention before the end of August 31st, it's $199. That's half price, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's really, there is some, I wish Anna was on here. She's my coach, and this was the first TSFL event she went to, and it was amazing for her.
Yeah.
That she was there and got a sense of the company, what you've all talked about, a sense of who we are together. It gives you a vision to go from and to be inspired by as you talk to clients. They're going to feel that difference in you. I just think it's invaluable to just the experience of being in that same space is the most important takeaway to me. So just a thought, you know, you don't have to book the hotel till later, but $200, it's a deal.
It's a whole lot less. And as you keep progressing in your business, guys, if you get invited to go global, definitely do it. That's another life changer as well. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick before we let everybody go is the company's really been listening to all the coaches. When you order your coach kit, even if you order it separately, it's free shipping. Woo! Okay, so how many times have we hoped that a coach is going to order their coaching kit at the first time when they order their first order, so it's free? Well, the coaching kit's still going to be free shipping. So it's pretty cool. So, yeah. All right. Thanks so much for being on the call, guys. Anybody have any other last comments?
Tanya.
I do. I would like my team, if you have just a second, to log into my Zoom. And